your main image for this ad, which is probably going to be a stock car, although it wouldn't have to be if you want it to be something else, but I think a racing car, a stock car would be the best, not any other kind of racing car. Okay, so you're going to do this in Pixlr, Pixlr.com. Some of you've used it already, and you want to use this one, the advanced editor. Now what I've done is I already went out and found some cars, and this one that I found is already a PNG file, so it has a transparent background. So if I wanted to copy, and I can tell because it says PNG right here in the URL, if I wanted to copy that URL, I'm actually going to go back to my Walmart ad and then insert an image with the URL. I can paste it in there and select, and there it is. Now it's a PNG because you can see there's no white box around it. Now I want that to be behind the text, so I'm going to go to Arrange. Now if I go to Order and I go Send to Back, watch what happens. It disappears because it's behind the entire box that I made for my border. So if you make a border with your rectangle, you might want to go to the Fill and make it transparent. Okay. My page should have a background color of white. My page should not be transparent. Can you see the checkerboards? I don't want that. So, format background white. When I draw my box around here, I want that fill to be transparent, so things don't get lost behind it. Okay? Now, a couple things about this graphic that I don't like, or that I want to change. Number one, it needs to be opaque. It needs to be faded, and I don't like this exhaust or smoke. Maybe you would. I just want to get rid of it. And so I'm going to need to send this box to the back. So I'm going to take that car out of there, and I already have the URL copied, so I'm going to go to my Pixlr image editor, open an image from URL. All I have to do is paste. Don't have to do anything else, just paste. Click OK. Okay, now again you can see it has a transparent background because of the checkerboard. I'm going to take this and crop because I don't want that exhaust. And I'm going to grab this corner. I'm going to bring that top down. I don't know how well you can see it on the screen. Then if I just double click in the center of that, now it's cropped. I'm going to take my eraser and very carefully erase whatever smoke might be left over there. I can see it, maybe you can't. Okay, so now this I have to save. When you save it as a PNG. Probably the default, the first time you save in here, it's probably going to say JPEG. You don't want that because, see, that puts a white background on it. You want it to be a PNG with a transparent background as it shows in the preview. Okay, give it a title. And then when you save it in the computer lab, you're going to need to save it on the computer where you're working or elsewhere, wherever, but you need to know where it's going. I'm just going to the desktop. Okay, now when I close this, I don't have to save it. That's the original. I don't have to save that. Oops. See, because if I do, I hit yes, I get that same box again. So I'm just going to say no. Don't need to save that one. Now I can go back to my Walmart ad, and I could insert the new one.
So who created a site with blah blah blah?
Oh, that was me.
Oh, okay.
Now this time I have to upload it because it's on my desktop. Oh, I called it race car. See, you got to remember. Okay, there it is without the exhaust, but look, it still isn't opaque. So that's another thing you can do in Pixlr. So I'm gonna open that image again, my race car, and this is really easy to do. I have to go over here to this layers palette. Okay, if that's not showing, it should be under somewhere, yeah, under view, and you would click layers if it's not showing. I need to make sure I have that layer selected. That means it's blue, and then I click this bottom image here. It says toggle layer settings. I just click that little arrow. And here's my opacity. That means it's going to fade the object, not the background. It's the transparency of the object. So you can see as I slide that, the object is fading. Okay, if I go to 0, it's completely gone. So, I'm going to say maybe about 50%, just kind of guessing. And then I'll need to save that. And again, ping. Now it's probably going to tell me it already exists. And yes, I want to replace it. Now I go to Walmart ad and throw it in there again. I could have done that all at once with both the cropping and the opacity. Okay, now I can stick that up there. Notice right now it's actually in front of the text because my text is being affected by that. I want the text in front. So I have to click on the text, arrange, order, bring to front. Okay? So, and if I don't think that's opaque enough, I can go back in and change it some more so that it's more opaque. So you can get a car and put it on there, and we want a realistic looking car. It could be a clip art. It doesn't have to be a real vehicle. It could be a clip art as long as it's realistic looking. Now, going back to the photo editor. This image that I found is a JPEG. You might think it's a ping because you don't see any white background. But that's because it's on a white background. And I can tell it's a JPEG because it says it here in the tab and it says it here in the URL. So I'm going to copy that, go to Pixlr, open image from URL, paste it in there, click OK. Now, it's much easier to get rid of a background like this when it's all one color. All I have to do is grab my magic wand. Notice right here though in my layers there's a padlock. Might have to unlock that before I can do anything with it. So you have to double click on the lock and then it turns into a check mark. Now I should be able to work on that layer. Alright, so I'm just going to take the magic wand tool here, click on the white. Now watch, if I hit delete, my delete key, it might change to a transparent background, but it also might not change at all. So let's say that you've selected it and you've hit delete, but it's still white. Then here's what you have to do. You have to go to Edit and Invert Selection. Now I have the car selected. I need to copy it. I can close this picture now without saving it and now create a new image, and I want it to have a transparent background. Now it's going to come up in the correct size, the clipboard, wherever I copied. I want to have a transparent background. Click OK, paste that in there. Now I know when I save that it's going to be a transparent background as long as I save it as a ping. See how it comes up JPEG. Okay, so when I save that, it's going to have the transparent background. So I don't want to see on your ads a vehicle that has a white box around it and the part of the box might be covering something up. Okay, now if you decide you want to use an actual photo like this, that's going to take a lot more work because I don't want to see a photo like this with this track and grass background. I want your image to be cut out as a transparent ping. So this is a JPEG. We'll copy it. All photos are going to be JPEGs. We'll copy the URL. We will paste it. Into Pixlr. Now, this one takes more work because you have to manually cut it out. And when you do that, you want to zoom in. Really zoom in. Now there are two tools you can use for this. You're going to click your lasso tool here. There are two lasso tools. One is a freehand, that's the round one, and the other is called a polygonal lasso tool. The freehand tool is probably going to be much harder to use because you got to have such a steady hand as you drag. Okay, if that's harder to use, I probably wouldn't use that one. I would use the polygon one, which is actually kind of like clicking dot to dot. So I can just go click, move it up, click, move it up, click, start around the corners, click, click. See, I'm bending it around the corner. Come up here, click, come over to here, click, and then as I go around a curve, I'm going click, 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 and so on. Okay, Jimmy, you're not even watching. I'm just gonna, to save time, I'm just gonna do a bad cutout here. You have to get back to where you started and click, and then you'll get the selection. Again, then you're gonna copy it. You can start a new file with a transparent background. You're going to paste it. Now, you could go in and touch it up with the eraser if you needed to, but again, you have to be careful doing that. You don't want to erase part of the car. If you do, then undo it. So really with the eraser, you're best off doing a little bit and then releasing the mouse, and then do a little bit more and release the mouse.